The trigger, or UDIN. Actually, that's its reason for adaptation. Why does the body start the adaptation process? It all happens in a split moment, a split second of truth, the moment of truth. We're going through life and something just happens whereby the body needs to sprint into action, suddenly need to adapt instantly. What is that? That is called the UDIN, or trigger. So UDIN is an acronym that stands for something that is happening unexpected, dramatic, isolative, and no strategy. Unexpected, dramatic, isolative, and no strategy. So let's take a look at the unexpected part. The unexpected is, like the word says, you did not see it coming. Like being fired. Something happened during Christmas holiday. Something happened in the shop when people were talking to you. But there's something really important about the unexpected. It's not so much the event itself that is unexpected, but there's an unexpected element out of it. For example, if the trauma or the event is being fired, the unexpected part might be that it happened during Christmas. It might be that it was unexpected for someone because their colleague could stay. It might be unexpected for someone that the project they're working on failed, and that was the reason why they fired. It could even be that when hearing the notice, that the person who said it was smiling. You never ever know what it made unexpected for someone, but really start looking for the unexpected element in it. This is also why emergency response teams, military, martial arts, actually practice the unexpected. So they have immediately the reduce of the shock because they already practice how to deal in that situation. So the first element of the UDIN, of the trigger, is the U, as in unexpected. The next one is dramatic. This one makes really sense. If it's not really serious, why be worried about it, right? But you feel it as being very serious. Like dropping a pen is not dramatic, unless you grew up in a situation where if you dropped your pen, it was life-threatening. Imagine jumping out of an airplane. That it could be dramatic unless you practiced. It's the feeling of a life-threatening situation. The isolative is the next one. It's the I stands for isolative. It's the feeling alone. It's like in these pictures, you're all by yourself and there's no one to talk to, or no one listens. There can be a lot of people around you, but if you feel that no one listens or no one cares, or you cannot share your experience with someone, you might end up in an isolative state. You can have this isolative state by yourself or with a lot of people. Because in a lot of situations, the actual trigger includes a lot of guilt, shame, and actually the not wanting to talk about. One of the examples is a small boy going to his mom with his report card saying, Mom, look how well my report card is. And Mom says, yeah, Johnny, wait, we'll get to that later today. He could feel isolated at that moment because even though there was someone there, nobody was really listening. And actually the isolative, the I part, is a little bit of a tricky one because you want people to express what they actually felt, what they experienced. And the isolative element, the guilt and the shame, actually prevents them from doing it a little. And one thing that would make this a little easier to do is give it a pre-frame. And the pre-frame could be like, you don't have to tell me everything what's going on. The most important part is that you actually recognize it yourself. Just by giving that leeway, it allows people not to share it. And usually people start talking about it then. And the other way around that is the event. Do you recognize it? Yeah, I recognize it. What color is it? And first start working with the color, because color is, you can say a lot of things about color, but one of the things is if somebody says the color of my trauma is yellow, you have no clue what it is, right? But you can have both a common way of talking about. When you mention yellow, both know it's about that specific trauma. It's also used in non-content therapy. So two pre-frames, if you feel that the client is not really willing to talk about. The first pre-frame is, the most important part is that you recognize it yourself. You don't have to tell me everything about it. And the second pre-frame is, what color is it? Only use that if the client is if you feel like the client is hesitating in sharing what he remembers. Otherwise, the client will start centering themselves and say what they think important, unless what you need to know. So that's the isolative part. And the no strategy part is, the client has no clue what to do. Do I need to go left? Do I need to go right? It's like being hunted down and you don't know if you go left or right in the T section or straight ahead. This is the second reason why emergency response teams start practicing the unexpected. They start practicing the unexpected because then they are not stunned by the situation happening, and they practice a specific strategy so they know exactly what to do in those situations. It doesn't have to be the best strategy, but they have at least one strategy. So the UDIN is always characterized by unexpected, dramatic, isolative, and no strategy. And at that split second, all the senses, all the seeing, hearing, smelling, tasting, and touch is stored, is recognized, also called the VACOG, as in visual, auditory, kinesthetic, olfactory, smelling, and gustatory, tasting. These are the senses, and these are also elements out of the split second experience of the UDIN. Some examples, some very simple examples. A conversation that you overheard. Your next door neighbor mentions something to the butchers about you. The look. A specific way of that people can look at you. A joke that you find personally offensive. I specifically took some very, very light examples. So to teach that a UDIN doesn't have to be like really physically life-threatening, but it can be felt like that or anything like that. So the most important part is to remember the trigger is UDIN, unexpected, dramatic, isolative, no strategy, and consists of all the 5 senses: seeing, hearing, smelling, tasting, and touching, the VACOG.
I'm curious, comment with your biggest insight from this video. What is the best thing you learned from that? And by sharing this, you will greatly inspire other people with your comments.